Robin Hood is one of these pricks who just keeps resurfacing throughout every generation, be it TV, books or films. This tight-wearing lunatic never fucks off. Everyone knows the story of Robin Hood. He steals from the rich and gives to the poor, and for years and years, many wealthy people have since used Robin Hood's name to make even more money for themselves. An irony which seems to be lost on everybody. Speaking of, have you heard that Tennings is on Patreon? Click below to donate to Tennings' Patreon. This fucker has even had his own sexploitation movies. Jesus Christ! Build a statue of him, quick! But none, and I mean none, of Robin Hood's adaptations have been quite as bad as this. You want to talk about bad covers? How about we get a nondescript photograph of some trees in the sun, but then we change the sky to nighttime so that it doesn't make any sense? Then, let's buy a stock image of an arrow, repeat it a few times in different sizes, and then add in some totally inappropriate stars and bokeh looking shit. Slap on a title and boom! Video game cover. Fucking idiots. It just stuns me that this is how they tried to sell their game. That people would see this on the shelf and go, wow, that looks good. I just can't understand why they wouldn't put Robin Hood on the cover. Seeing as the fucking game is called Robin Hood. Anyway. Okay. Maybe that's why. What the fuck? Like, he looks like the decomposed corpse of Robin Hood. Like, as if they just dug him up or something. Why are his eyes blacked out? Why isn't he at least smiling? It's like he just woke up in fucking Dark Souls or something. This game is so strange and I haven't even started it yet.
More than once upon a time, a brave man has traversed hill and dale, river and valley, forest and fortress, to rescue his beloved.
What? More than once upon a time he's had to rescue his beloved? What, so she keeps getting kidnapped and he has to save her all the time? What kind of an introduction is that?
Yet as much as Robin Hood was brave, the Sheriff of Nottingham was wicked. He was a horrible man, a dreadful, terrible tyrant who taxed the poor and made them poorer.
That's kind of how the world works. I mean, my point is that the sheriff doesn't sound like a bad guy so far. The narrator then goes on to talk about how beautiful Robin Hood is.
And, unlike the sheriff, so handsome that Maid Marian had no sooner met eyes with him than she was spellbound.
Unless spellbound is a euphemism for she was tied up and told not to scream, I'm really missing what the attraction is here. Is she blind? Is that why he keeps having to rescue her? Because she just keeps wandering off, not knowing where she's going?
She fell more in love with him than anyone had ever fallen in love before, and more in love than anyone has ever fallen in love since.
Well, there's a fucking statement. So, the sheriff is jealous and kidnaps Maid Marian and Robin Hood has to rescue her. I'd complain that there's no cutscenes in this game, but honestly, these useless fuckers can't even keep the narrator in sync with the scrolling text.
And that is where Robin Hood's quest begins. Not hill nor dale, not river nor valley, not forest nor fortress will stop him.
So the game begins and immediately my first thought is that Robin Hood runs like he's just sharted himself. I don't know where to go either. This game has just dropped me in this camp with tents, then I bump into this guy.
The sheriff's men took my quarterstaff. Please get it back.
Oh, so am I to look for his quarterstaff then? I thought I was looking for Maid Marian. So I go down this path and holy fuck, it looks like someone shat out a canopy and now it's daytime? What? Then I walk over to this fence but Robin Hood won't open it because it's the wrong side.
This is the wrong side. Oops. Wrong side. Oops. Wrong side. This is the wrong side.
What do you mean it's a wrong side? It's a fence. It's not even as tall as you. You could just reach over it.
Oops. This is the wrong side. This is the wrong side. Wrong side. Can't get in.
Jesus. So I go the one way that doesn't have brittle wooden gates blocking Robin Hood and head toward a chest until a guard spots me and runs toward me. Then Robin Hood just gets on his knees. What? I mean, he's Robin Hood! He should shoot him with his bow and arrow, but no! The oh so gallant and brave Robin Hood, at the first sign of danger, drops to his fucking knees and smiles like a donut. Then I try take a different route, and, oh for fuck's sake, why doesn't he fight back? I've pressed every button and I can't find out how to shoot an arrow. I was so confused trying to find out how to attack enemies in this game. I tried every button and the only thing I was able to make Robin Hood do was whistle. And then I looked at the back of the box A daunting journey lies ahead. You must win without your bow. What? Why? What the fuck? Why would Robin Hood, one of the most famous archers in the history of fiction, not use his bow? Even the front of the fucking box has arrows being fired, but in the game it's just nope. Robin Hood is wearing arrows on his back and the game doesn't let you shoot arrows. My brain hurts over how stupid this is. Your only form of attack is by finding and placing these sacks of gold down on the ground, which then distracts the guards so you can walk by them. Brilliant. How fucking fun. You can also make Robin Hood sneak by gently, and I mean gently, pushing the analog stick. But look at how he sneaks. What the hell is he doing? That's a sneak? It looks like he's walking a fashion catwalk. Oh, and remember that whole story about how the Sheriff of Nottingham kidnapped Maid Marian? Well, the fucking game doesn't, because I spend my entire time wandering around talking to characters who just happen to be standing in the way of a new path, and every one of them needs me to find an item that's been taken from them. Bagpipes, wheat, sugar, like fucking hell, what is this game? So each item is found in these maze-like sections where Robin Hood has to avoid the guards and open numerous chests in order to find a key. That key then opens a chest to find another key, which is then used to open a chest to find another fucking key. And that key then opens a chest to find one of the stolen items, which Robin Hood then has to take back to whoever asked for it in the first place. Then, that character will move out of the way of the road that they were standing in front of, and Robin Hood can access a new area and then repeat the whole process over and over again. Fucking shoot me. This goes on forever. Avoid guards, open chests, find keys, open chests, find items, return to owner, repeat. Eventually, we come to this section in front of a castle wall, and in a chest we find a bow. So I figured, great, now I can actually start shooting guards. But no, you can't. I literally tried everything. I couldn't fire the bow. And that's when I suddenly start second guessing myself. Was it a bow? It looked like a bow, but it mightn't have been. There's no inventory, so I can't be sure. Am I positive it wasn't just a weird stick that a character asked for somewhere? Well, fuck it. I spent the next 30 minutes wandering aimlessly around the entire game, trying to find the character that this bow or stick or whatever it is belongs to. I try everything. I re-sneak through every level trying to find a path I might have missed, or a character I didn't see. Nothing. This is so fucking frustrating. Like, what am I supposed to do? Out of sheer boredom, I end up back in the area where I got the item originally, and... You dirty, miserable bastards. What the fuck kind of bullshit is that? Why didn't it just do that when I got the fucking thing? Did they even test this shit? There's no indication whatsoever that you have to approach that gate, let alone that you should even think that this stupid cunt can fire an arrow to knock it down.
You must win without your bow.
Fuck you. So we eventually find more keys in more chests to inexplicably then find Maid Marian waving like a prick in the middle of a room.
Oh, Robin Hood. Oh, finally to be freed from the grasp of that evil sheriff. What took you so long? I nearly had to save myself and mess up the whole story.
Ruined the story? Did she just break the fourth wall? Is this game taking the piss? Like, what?
Good thing I had a backup plan to outwit the wicked sheriff myself.
What? What? We don't even get to see the evil Sheriff of Nottingham? That's it? That's the game? Well, it's no wonder this prick looks so miserable on the title screen. He's going out with the most ungrateful cunt in the history of video games.
Waiting to be saved can get terribly boring.
Well, I guess someone had to take over from Blast.
Support Tennings on Patreon! You can now enable Tennings' inevitable road to suicide with your hard-earned money.